Hi, welcome to Michael Wan's op-ed. I'm Michael Wan. I'm a reporter. I'm a politics reporter slash politics columnist slash political opinion guy for Korea Daily. So Michael Wan's op-ed, this program is going to continue analyzing American politics, Washington, D.C. politics, Beltway politics, whatever you call it. And it's my opinion show. I'll analyze the news. I'll try to see what news are fake news and tell you guys what are the real facts. And I'll also express my political views and opinions on a regular basis. So anyway, tomorrow we have April 1st and April 2nd, we have a congressional 34th district election, early voting coming up. It's going to be in LA Koreatown, Pio Pico Library. So hope all of you Korean American voters out there go out and vote. It is your civic duty to go out and vote. So anyway, if you look at this election cycle, there's been a lot of shenanigans going on. Robert An announced his candidacy back in January. And right after that, starting in February, there came a fake candidate who had the same exact last name as Robert An. And he said he was also going to announce his candidacy. But what I've been hearing was that he has been controlled by another establishment candidate, and this establishment candidate tried to let him run for office just to dissipate the Korean American votes so that Robert An can't make it and that other Korean American candidate can't make it, so that other establishment candidates can make it to the runoff. So anyway, if you look at what happened right after that, I called that candidate, who wasn't a candidate yet, and I called him and tried to do an interview with him. But he tried to avoid me continuously. I think I called him probably 4 or 5 times and even texted him, but he said, oh, I want to do the interview later, I don't want to do it right now, I'm not ready. And as a politics reporter, I've never seen a political candidate trying to avoid the press. You can't avoid the press. If you're not a famous person, if people don't know you, you want to make sure that the people know you in order for the constituents to vote. But he tried to avoid me as much as possible, so I kind of felt something was fishy. I felt this guy probably might be a fake candidate. That's what I thought, because why would you want to avoid? You want your name out there so that the constituents at least know your name before they cast their votes. So he kept on avoiding me, and I wrote an article about it, and the funny thing is that the next day he dropped out. He said he's not going to run for the office. So after that, Robert An was cruising. Robert An, he's the only Korean American candidate among the 24 congressional California 34th district candidates. He's the only Korean American candidate. So in February, everything was going smooth. He did these fundraising events and piled up a lot of money. And also, his campaign was working very diligently to cast VBM, the vote by mail. Right now, the Korean Americans voted more than 3,000 votes so far. But the thing was, there has been this Ballotgate thing that came out a week ago. And the thing was, Robert An his number was supposed to be number 29, but on the sample ballot, it came out on number 30 in the Korean version of the sample ballot. It was supposed to be 29, but on the Korean version, which means the only Korean Americans can read that. There are Korean American voters out there who can't read English at all, but can read Korean. So it's like tailor-made for the Korean American voters to make a mistake, to vote on number 30, which Robert An is not. Robert An is number 29, but they put him at number 30. So if people voted number 30, it doesn't count as Robert An's vote. So these kind of shenanigans has been going on. What I want to tell you guys out there is, I think American politics is very corrupt at this point. If you look at what happened back in the 2016 presidential election, I would think that you might also have catched that there's, we always hear the system is rigged, the election is rigged. I think it truly is at this point. Look at what happened back in 2015 and 2016 during this presidential election in the primaries. If you look at the Democratic Party, the DNC, look at all the shenanigans that the Hillary Clinton people and the mainstream media pulled. Back in, I think it was probably April or May, I can't exactly remember when, but in the DNC primary debates, one day prior to that, Hillary Clinton got questions in advance from DMC temporary chairwoman at that time, Donna Brazil. She fed her a question to make her look good because Hillary is horrible in debates and horrible in speeches. If anybody out there went to one of her rallies, I bet you all felt really bored. I felt really bored. I went to one in La Alhambra. I think she gave like a 15, 20-minute speech, and I just couldn't believe how boring it was. If you compare her speech to like Donald Trump or Barack Obama or Bernie Sanders, it just doesn't. It's just not up to that par. So I felt she didn't have that kind of charisma and speech skills, and that's ultimately why I think she lost. Donald Trump has tremendous, whether you like him or not, he has tremendous communication skills, and he's a very good public speaker. And Barack Obama too, and Hillary Clinton just didn't have that. That's why they also scheduled all the debates on Saturdays. Probably most of you wouldn't have even watched any debates that was scheduled, for the DNC primaries. And I think ultimately, if you pull that kind of shenanigans, people noticed it, and that's why I think back, November last year, that's why Donald Trump won the whole election. Donald Trump, whether you like it or not, you see these mainstream media, New York Times and Washington Post, LA Times, ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, all these press, they were 99.9% negative to Donald Trump, but he still won regardless because he's a tremendous speaker. I mean, go to YouTube and check out the speeches yourselves. I'm not just saying that just to be a contrarian, but he was a tremendous speaker. I predicted back in 2010 if he won, I thought that he would win the presidency. I wanted him to run against Barack Obama back in 2012 because I felt like, it would be a very interesting match. But actually, he ended up not running there, not running, and Mitt Romney ran. So it kind of made, the election kind of boring. I thought that if it was Trump versus Obama, it would be really an interesting thing to see. But I predicted that, he has this kind of special connection with his followers, whether the mainstream media likes it or not. So I think those followers stuck with him. And with Robert Ahn, I want to go back to the California 34th District election. Robert Ahn has that. He has a tremendous communication skills. He has good election pledges. He has that power to connect with the with not just Korean Americans, but the constituents, the voters. He has that kind of special skill. I think you have to have that in order to win races. I think among all the Korean American candidates out there, I think he's number one on that. He's better than most of the other Korean American politicians that I've seen. Speech-wise and also connection-wise. He has this. He's a very humorous guy. He's good at public speaking, and I think he would be a great representative for the Korean American constituents, and not just in the 34th district, but as you may know, congressmen, they work nationally. They work about national issues. So I think he would be a great representative for the United States. So that's why I endorse him, and I want all you Korean American voters out there, especially I know you Facebook users. There's a lot of 20s, 30s, and 40s, even 50s out there. Please go out and vote. There's going to be an early voting happening tomorrow at from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., April 1st and 2nd. It's going to be at Pio Pico Library. If you don't know where the address is, I'll let you know right now. It's 694 South Oxford Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90005. So please go out there and vote. It is your civic duty.